Hello everyone, it's Nayla, and welcome back to the Nick Nayla channel. Today, we're diving deep into the latest updates on Will Smith and his family. There's been a lot going on, from family appearances, Hollywood comebacks, and music releases, to unexpected viral moments that no one saw coming. So grab a seat. We're unpacking everything you need to know about Will Smith right now. Let's start with the moment that had fans buzzing across social media. Will and Jada Pinkett Smith were spotted together in Malibu, California, after almost a year of staying out of the public eye. The couple stepped out for lunch at Nobu on September 7, 2025. And of course, the cameras caught every detail. Will looked laid back in a crisp white shirt, khaki shorts, and a cap. Meanwhile, Jada kept all eyes on her in a striking nude strapless dress with a matching hood. But the detail that fans couldn't stop talking about? Will was spotted carrying Jada's bag. It might sound small, but to many, that gesture felt intimate. Almost like an unspoken sign that no matter the rumors or the distance, there's still a bond there. This lunch was more than just a casual outing. It was their first public appearance together since late 2024, which is significant considering Jada's candid revelation in 2023. She admitted that she and Will had actually been separated for 7 years, though they were still committed to working through their relationship. That revelation shook fans and the media alike, leaving many wondering what the future held for the Smiths. Seeing them now, walking side by side, doesn't necessarily signal a traditional reconciliation, but it does suggest a shared journey, one that is evolving in the public eye, and one that people are very invested in watching. While his personal life is always under the microscope, Will is also making waves in Hollywood again. After a few quieter years, he's officially back in the blockbuster business. His production company, Westbrook, has signed a major deal with Paramount Pictures. And this isn't about small projects or experimental content, it's about big budget theatrical films designed to dominate the box office. We're talking about original projects like Rabbit Hole and Sugar Bandits, and even the potential for sequels to some of Will's most iconic films, Hancock, I Am Legend, and yes, even more Bad Boys. Fans are especially excited about the idea of a Hancock sequel, and Will has hinted at the possibility of working with younger stars like Zendaya on future projects. This partnership with Paramount also follows their merger with Skydance, which was all about creating bigger, star-driven tentpole films. For Will, it's a chance to redefine his career, shifting the narrative away from controversies and back toward the kind of commercial hits that first made him a global star. But Will being Will, he's not just making headlines for film deals. Recently, he sparked a different kind of viral conversation, this time involving artificial intelligence. Will shared a video of himself performing at what looked like a packed concert. At first glance, it seemed exciting, but fans quickly noticed something odd. The crowd appeared off. Some figures had distorted features, hands where feet should be, and posters with strange misspelled words. Very quickly, the internet speculated that the footage had been generated using AI. Instead of ignoring the chatter or issuing a defensive statement, Will leaned into the humor. He followed up with a second video. This time, he was performing to a virtual audience made up entirely of cats. That tongue-in-cheek response, captioned "Crowd was toppin' tonight," turned the controversy into a joke and actually won him back some goodwill. It showed self-awareness, humor, and a willingness not to take himself too seriously. But it also highlighted just how fragile authenticity can be in today's digital age. Fans want connection. They want something real. And when something feels fake, it can overshadow even the best intentions. Away from the chaos of Hollywood and social media, Will had a lighter, more human moment when he discovered a surprising detail about his family roots. During an interview with BBC Radio Wales, he learned that his hometown of Winfield in Pennsylvania and his mother's birthplace, Bryn Mawr, both have Welsh origins. At 56, Will was amused enough to joke about changing his name to Welsh Smith, even laughing as he said, "Big Will lives in Big Hill. This is crazy." It was a funny, down-to-earth moment that reminded fans of the charming, relatable Will they fell in love with decades ago. On a lighter and more surprising note, Will also had a fun discovery about his heritage. During an interview with BBC Radio Wales, he learned that his hometown of Winfield, Pennsylvania, actually has Welsh roots. Even his mother's hometown, Bryn Mawr, traces back to Wales. He He was so amused by the coincidence that he joked about changing his name to Welsh Smith. At 56 years old, he laughed and said, "Big Will lives in Big Hill." This is crazy. It was a playful moment, but also a reminder that even global superstars find joy in little connections like this. It humanizes him, makes him relatable, because who doesn't love discovering something new about where they come from? And then there's his music. Earlier this year, Will released his 5th studio album, based on a true story. It's his first album in 2 decades. Think about that, 20 years since his last project, and he decides now is the time to come back to music. The album features collaborations with Big Sean, Russ, Joyner Lucas, and even his son Jaden. It's a mix of hip-hop, pop, and gospel influences, showing that Will wanted to touch on every part of his artistic journey. The lead single, Beautiful Scars with Big Sean, made waves for its music video, which was full of Matrix-inspired visuals, red pill symbolism, slow-motion action, bullet dodging. It was a clear nod to classic sci-fi. People noticed. It wasn't just a song, it was a statement. Critics, though, were divided. On Metacritic, the album scored around a 40, which signals mixed reviews. Some felt it was powerful and personal, while others thought it didn't quite land musically. But what everyone agreed on is that it felt sincere. This wasn't Will chasing charts. It was him expressing himself, putting out art that reflects where he is in life. And sometimes, that matters more than the numbers. So, where does all of this leave us with Will Smith today? He's clearly in a period of rebuilding. Publicly, personally, creatively, he's piecing his story back together. His lunch with Jada shows unity, if not the traditional picture of reconciliation. His deal with Paramount shows that Hollywood still believes in his star power. His AI concert clip reminds us of the risks of digital fame, but also his ability to laugh and adapt. And his album shows a man still willing to be vulnerable and put himself out there. Will Smith's story is far from over. If anything, it feels like a new chapter is just beginning. He's redefining himself in real time, and we're all watching. From his family to his films, his music to his memes, Will continues to be one of the most fascinating figures in entertainment. And whatever happens next, you can be sure it won't be boring. That's it for today's deep dive. I'm Nyla, and you've been watching the Nick Nyla channel. Stick around, because we'll keep bringing you the stories behind the headlines. Will Smith's journey is still unfolding, and trust me, we'll be right here, following every step of the way.